are about to get started for the evening. Let me turn on some music. Let's turn on something fancy. There we go. Alright, welcome to the Ilderon Tales. This is Group C. I actually don't like this. What's going on? Oh, I have it open in another thing. Okay, cool. Sorry.
You love us.
Yeah. This is Group C. Through the Heart, episode 8. Oh, I might have put 9 on the title screen. That was my bad. This is episode 8. And we have a semi-full party tonight. I will be controlling Jackal's character, Dusty, and otherwise we're jumping into it. So, we are playing Dungeons & Dragons tonight. Everything you are going to see is live storytelling. Nothing you're going to see tonight is scripted. And the story can go anywhere. We have a set of rules that govern a couple things that our characters are capable of, but most of tonight is happening in the theater of imagination and the mind. That said, we are playing in a homebrewed campaign setting. It is called The World of Ilderon. If you want to know more about it, you can go to www.ilderontales.com. The main defining characteristic of it is a world shaped by belief, and a world shaped by the presence of gods. All the gods roam the mortal plane, or the material plane, and so societies have developed around the different belief structures of that and how they interact with each other. Moving on from there, if you are under the age of 14, please consult your parents before watching this video, because you'll probably come into some content that's not appropriate for you. And before we get started tonight, does anybody have a question about the lore or history of Ilderon, or anything going on with the stories, or a question about D&D in general?
I have a question.
Have the Risen members always been celibate?
Okay, I'm going to answer both questions. And what was your question, Tracy?
I want to know the lore on Darendel more.
Okay, on Darndar. That's the city you're in. Okay, so the first question: have the Risen members always been celibate or celebrate? I don't know how to pronounce that word.
Celibate.
Yeah, celibate. The Risen is a faction inside of the country of Ililnagai that helps govern the country. It is composed. Ililnagai is a matriarchy, and the Risen is composed. It's a preparatory faction composed of all females. And where it started was Ililnagai was originally 6 different city-states, and a Sky Queen, somebody who called themselves the Sky Queen, conquered these 6 different states and united them into one nation. And then she died and didn't leave a line of succession. And so two different beliefs rose up about how the next person who leads that nation should be chosen. And the answer to that question of who leads the nation, it was answered by this faction called the Risen, which was modeled after Ledora. They would be civil servants wholly devoted to their nation. And so, in that she didn't have any heirs or offspring, in their conception, the Risen have always been celibate because they model Ledora. Once you join the Risen, you throw away all of your ties to family, all of your ties to land. You swear off romance. You swear off any attachment to anything that isn't your job, basically. That isn't, for the good of Ililnagai. And every Sky Queen then after is always selected amongst the ranks of the Risen. So it is a huge honor. Tracy asks about Darendar. Darendar is a major crossroads town inside of the nation of Arder-Sarai. These maps were made by 2 different cartographers, so that's why it appears in slightly different places on there. I think I put the first map was... Oh, no, there's another map I have that was made by Icium. And that's why everything on that map is inaccurate. What is that? Did I put that there? Okay, here we go. We're going to delete that. Alright, so anyways, Darendar is in that green circle that I circled on each map. It is a crossroad town. One of the things that is so important about Darandar is that there is a huge port city to the east of Darandar. The capital city is to the south. The capital of Ardor Serai is to the south of Darandar. And then the religious Earthfire, which is the symbol of faith for Ardor Serai, is in the northern mountains of Ardor. And then obviously the Western Forest is on the west side of it. So Darandar itself is this crossroad town that is in the middle of these four major geographic features of Ardor Serai as a nation. So the town itself is very, very popular and people coming through. And so you get a lot of ideas and a lot of people passing through this town. You get the merchants, you get the heavy pilgrims and the zealots of belief, you get foreigners, living outside of the capital and roaming through the nation. And Darandar itself is this constant changing place. Whereas I think every time a group has visited Darandar in this campaign, it's been a drastically different city in terms of like the political climate of Ardor Serai, of how it affects the city. So for an example, one group that went here went to Darandar and all of the forges in town were lit up. There was smoke rising from the town, and there was a war encampment all around the town because 20,000 people were marching south and stopped around the town as they were preparing to go to war. And you guys have came in after that march. All right, so if all hearts and minds are at rest, we can... Oh, we still have to do the recap. I forgot about the recap. All right, let's do the recap. Wait, do the song?
Do it in...
All right. Let's see. Well, if I do it in song,
the beat.
I will actually freestyle rap.
Here is Apple Music.
No, Alexa, stop. I will actually freestyle rap the recap.
Do it.
All right. There was no, I can't. I'm like trying to. There's a Constar Stonebreaker and his what rhymes with breaker? Taker? Oh yeah. There was
Taker, Shaker.
There was a Constone Stonebreaker, and the party was all like, I don't know. I have to write it out. I'm better at freestyle.
You a faker.
I'm not good at freestyling. Anyways, yeah. So last session started on the 30th of it's still the 30th. Okay, started on the 30th of Hunter. The party had just defeated Constor Stonebreaker and arrived in the town of Darandar. Constor was a assassin, a Dwarven assassin, sent after the party to capture Lydia, and him and his Dwarven company had been defeated. Inside of Darandar, everybody was licking their wounds and finding some place to rest. The party split up, with half of the party going to investigate a tavern on the western side of the city known as the Wench's Wink, and the other half of the party, all the little Nagians in the party, minus Altus, went north to the to where they heard about a Sunyith order, which the Sunyith is a church of the Holy Given Wills which is a foreign religion in this country, so it was very strange for them to be inside of Darandar, this culturally important Ardor Serai town. So the party went to investigate the Sunyith order that was in town and talk to them. There, the NPC Lydia met up with somebody who turned out to be one of her childhood family friend, and the woman revealed herself as Derry Defiu, and that she had known Lydia for some time, and the last she had heard about Lydia was that Lydia had been kidnapped and was missing, and it was good news that she is free and walking around. From there, the party had as far as like the Ililnagians, there was probably a little bit of suspicion that went on voice for a little while, as Derry offered the party a place to stay in town and told them that the Sun Yith is working to clean up the town, as it appears there was a cult that was residing here. And with the freedom of the cult, there's also been a sickness that's been going around the town. With that said, the other part of the party found out from the inn, the Winch's Wink, that the Sun Yith have been rounding people up inside of the town and dragging them off for who knows what. Nobody really knows why on that side of the town. They've been pretty forceful in that they've been given almost a free reign over the town. From there, the party met up with each other, and they got an inn room where there was a bunch of extra space, and in the inn, lots of things happen. So, Altus. Everybody split into different rooms, and God, I hope I saved that drawing of where everybody is at. I pretty much remember what I need to remember, but if I didn't, I did not. Okay. Alright, so anyways, in the inn room, Altus let Dusty see his black spellbook. Dusty tried to decipher its weird magical text, and the book and ink of it was very weird, and it hypnotized Dusty. He saw a bunch of figures, a bunch of different things, a crow flying around this huge wing, and then other symbols and movements that he couldn't make out. And before he knew it, he was casting magical spells at Altus, even though Dusty himself has been someone who's never been capable of magic. Dusty claims he saw a sigil in the book of a crow, and Altus tried to decipher it, although Altus, I believe, was unable to, ultimately. From there, the party was split up and talking about different things. While this was happening, Roman was spying on Lydia and Geisen. Lydia and Geisen were having a conversation about investigating Derry, as Derry had ties to Lydia's father. And as the party is aware, Lydia's father knows how to get in and out of that demiplane known as Isildrad. And he left the information of how to do so with a close, trusted ally of his that is loyal to him. Who that ally is, or who that person is, or where this information is in the world is unknown to the party. They just know that it's somebody who had close contacts with Ayman Solom. So Lydia and Geisen were discussing if that person was Derry, and Geisen agreed to go and investigate it, but Lydia agreed not to give too much information to the party, because if Roman caught wind of it, Roman killed Ayman Solom, Lydia's father, and he could preemptively kill Derry if this hunch proved to be false. Then from there, Fravia went downstairs to help clean up the inn, as the Sun Yith have been made their way into town, and this cult has made their way into town. Some of Artur Serai's traditional religions, the belief in the Four Ascended, have been getting trampled over and forgotten. And as a follower of the Four Ascended, Fravia went to clean up the worship area. As she was, the Lady of Darandar, Lady Croesus Ethenar, walked in the door. After having a strange back and forth with Fravia, she ended up helping Fravia clean up the worship center before asking Fravia, oh, there's something important I missed. But before asking Fravia telling Fravia and the innkeeper that she was there to speak with the Ililnagian diplomats. The Illuminagian diplomats were the party, and they were all upstairs. Fravia and Roman tried to stop her from going upstairs, and instead she walked right by them to speak with the diplomats. She had a brief conversation with Ilderon before she noticed the evil book inside of Altus's hands. She walked over to Altus and informed Altus that the book he was holding was dangerous, and she offered to buy it from him for 2,000 gold. Altus declined her offer, and then finally she went back to the business that she came to do. She told the party they were going to eat dinner at her estate tonight, and they would be welcome as proper diplomats. From there, she started departing, and Dusty noticed on her clothes, on her shoulder, on the emblems of her amulets, the symbol of the crow that he saw. It's an abstract symbol, and it doesn't look like a crow to anybody else, but just from Dusty's hypnotized eyes, like the way the movements flow, it invokes the imagery of a crow inside of his mind. Him and Altus could not match up the book, though, to the symbol as she was leaving, and she left the inn. The party had a brief conversation and then decided to attend the ball, or attend the dinner they were told to attend. And we are going to pick up from... Ooh, was there a question? Okay, we are going to pick up from there. We're going to fast forward. We're going to fast forward a half hour because I don't remember exactly where everybody was standing and what everybody was doing. You are in the upper room, or not the upper room, the upper floors of the oh god, which was this tavern? It wasn't the Witch's Wink. It wasn't the Hasty Stable Boy. It was the third one.
I don't remember. Oh, the
If I was
Sterling Phoenix.
Oh, yeah, the Sterling Phoenix. Yes, the Sterling Phoenix. You're on the upper floors of the Sterling Phoenix. Everybody on stream just saw me open my folder to open my notes. If I was a good DM, I would have had them open already. Alright, you are in the Sterling Phoenix. It is, there we go. I'm gonna put this over here. It is, the evening of the 30th of, it's the afternoon going into the evening of the 30th of Hunter. Everybody is together. You have those 4 rooms that you bought. What do you want to do? Or I think you bought 5 rooms. You bought 5 rooms.
Six rooms.
6 rooms. Yeah.
Yep.
We can't put the assassin with anybody he could stab in the night. Oh, can anybody hear me?
No.
Okay. What do you want to do? It is, you are in the Sterling Phoenix. Everybody's together.
The last thing I remember talking about is going to that dinner because we're all going to go eat and then die.
Well, we're going to go shopping.
Oh,
Because
that's right.
we're going to go shopping for like dresses and stuff because I
Yeah.
needed to avoid the fact that I referenced knowing who Grax's brother was.
Yeah, and I threw the sword shards at you that were his brother.
Oh,
And
yay!
I
More
put
depressing
the
mementos.
board that was broken together.
Yeah, we're going shopping. We're gonna go shopping. We're taking Gelsina and Lathy out so that they can have new clothes because pretty sure they're still wearing the rags from Calcrust.
Do you say that or do you look over at them? Because Lathy has on Adventure's common clothes that you guys got from her from the camp you reincarnated her at. Yeah. Lathy, that's Lathy, and then Gelsina still has on her Isildred guard costume.
Yeah, we should probably. I do say all that.
Okay.
I'm gonna say that they're still just wearing rags. I'm gonna say it very offensively too, like rags.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Gelsina also has on the half dress that she ripped in half as a scarf around her neck. But I don't think she's gonna protest when you call her clothes rags. Fashion wasn't like a high demand thing you could do in Isseldred. Your Sunday best, and you know, I feel like she'll. Well, no, there is no such thing as Sunday best.
10th day?
Yeah.
They're warned us.
Earliest day. Brandon, what's the Sabbath in Ilderon? That should be
Yeah, it depends on what nation you're in and where you go. There is no
Hey,
Sabbath.
barkeep, what's your day of worship here? I don't know why all this stuff.
Okay. Well, walking downstairs actually and asking the innkeeper, she can respond to you. She is going to, let's see, need to open this, and let's go to some cheerful music. That was what I was doing. Okay.
Oh, I don't have Dusty here to do backflips for me so that we can make gold.
Every day is worship day.
All right, here we go. All right, she is going to say, "Oh, well, if you head down to the city on 10th day, Umiya preaches, but any song or story that you make is to be sung about here."
You gonna, Rob, are you with me when I go down there and ask that?
Sure.
I'm gonna look at Rob and be like, how'd you guess it was 10th day?
I'm a sailor. I know a lot about water. Umi is the water goddess. Comes to me naturally.
Much like being a trader.
Sure. That too.
I guess we should ask her, like, you know, where the shops are. Fucking, we need to get them fancy clothes, but on the cheap.
We need to be dressed nice because Lady Croesus has more or less demanded our presence at a feast.
Are we telling her?
Okay.
Are we telling the party?
Oh no! That's exactly what I said to her. She understands what we're dealing with.
Yeah, the tavern keep. She's going to pale a little bit and say, "Oh, well, in that case, I think you should not disappoint her."
I feel that it's actually functionally impossible, but
Yeah.
at least I want to look nice when I die.
I feel like that's exactly what we asked you.
She is going to pull or she's actually going to pull Roman in, and she is going to make a stealth check. And
Hey man, she pulled in the one person only person that she can't beat. So
yeah, she's going to pull Roman in, make a stealth check, and Altus is going to hear this. And standing behind Altus is Lethe and Gelsina, and they're definitely going to hear this too. And she's going to whisper in your ear and say, "Lady Croesus has ways of hearing things, and seeing things, and knowing things inside the city. It bodes well for you to follow and bend to her will."
cool. I'm not gonna do that, but thank you for your concern.
I want to insight check that.
The woman who has pulled you close and has been smiling non-stop since you've been here, her smile fades for just like the 5 or 6 seconds she says that. And then as she leans back, she starts smiling again. And what's her name?
Is her name Jolie?
Yeah, Julie, the tavern keep. No, I rolled her up. I don't remember where I wrote down her name though.
Wait a minute. It just occurred to Roman's paranoid brain about something.
What is it, Roman?
Wait. So
Why? Did you have a stroke? Why are you talking about yourself in third person?
How? So it's like It's like one of those moments where it's like I want to ask a question, but that statement just insinuated that maybe I should shut up.
You can ask her.
How does she do that? You know? Do you know how she like knows things? Because we didn't tell anybody we were here.
Let's see. All right, Tavern keeps rolling a history die. Roll to 3. Roll in a Arcana check, and she is going to roll a 14 on that. She's going to think and say, well, she was, and she's going to lean in and say, she was some type of weird, strange mage. Magics and stuff. Clashed with the other people in Darindar. I don't know much about it.
Let's see. Is it... I can't think of a safe way to ask this. Never mind.
Let's not worry about it. We need to get nice clothes.
I do actually have a question for you, just real quick. I want to do a stealth check on it, because, you know, like, apparently there's so much listening going on, so try and be... Okay,
go for it.
Oh, God.
Nice!
Still gonna go. So basically I'm like, hey!
She smiles through her teeth as the performers are performing in the... Wait, no, you guys were the performers. Nobody's performing. Sad day.
Well,
go ahead.
No. I flagged Dusty off to go do backflips on the stage for it. I asked her, is there anywhere like someone could go that Lady Croesus can't touch, that, you know, where maybe one could get information that wouldn't be something you would want just heard out on the street. Nothing in particular. And I wink while I do it, while I say that.
She's gonna say, I don't know why you would want to run far away from the city. Because if you're far away from the city, then, you know, you couldn't enjoy Darindar if you were far away from the city.
Thank you for your time. I'm gonna pull like everyone aside and just be like, she really wants us to get out of here. Also, does Dusty make any gold for his backflip performances?
Oh, actually, I already rolled him the check for it. He entertains people enough to draw a crowd, but by the time, you know, it gets like the people are coming over to watch this, you guys are huddling up and he's jumping off stage. He does not make any money. He runs to the stage, backflip, and people are like, oh, they're back on, and then he runs away.
You guys
so again, though, we need to know where to get nice clothes. I don't think we were told that. We were just told, like, don't make her mad or we'll die or something.
I have a strong feeling everyone in this town's gonna be like this, Roman.
Yeah, that's cool. But, like, I want to get Gelsina and Lathy, like, not dingy clothes.
Well, then let's just walk around. We already came in. We didn't see stores where we came in from.
Yeah, so there would be merchants throughout Darindar, definitely. Okay, so I will let you guys know this. I am remaking the Darindar map because I lost that PNG of the original one I made. So I started remaking this map inside of a map. You
posted that map in our chat.
Yeah, I started I posted a picture of that map in your chat. I started remaking this map inside of a new map making software, and I ended up like doing bigger stuff for the world. So I will have an updated map of Darindar for you. But if you look inside of Roll20, the second image, and just zoom into it on the right, that is the city of Darindar, and I've got a couple of circles and stuff for my notes. If you look in the bottom area, this circle is kind of like a market district. There are shops there, and then along the road there's also stalls set up where people cart in things and sell them. Heading down to that market area, you would be able to definitely find some you would definitely be able to find some clothes and tailors selling cloth.
What?
Cool.
Mm-hmm.
So we'll go there, and
All right.
Tracy and I can have good, polite conversations.
Yeah.
All right. Dusty is going to stay in the tavern and entertain his new adoring fans. All right. So, Roman and Altus and Galesina and Lethe head to the market district of town. We are going to go up to Netra, Fravia, Lumigrax, and I think that's it.
Well, the
Yes.
NPC.
Oh yeah,
Yes,
and then all the
other-
NPCs. Alright, you guys are still on the upper floor of the tavern, the Sterling Phoenix. What do you want to do? Everybody is in the hallway having a conversation about like what they're doing and where they're going. The party is all together. What do you want to do?
I would like to go downstairs if I could.
Okay. Netra's going to start heading downstairs.
Fravia is going to speak with Lil Haran and ask her, will I be posing just as a guard?
Let's see.
Basically what I am.
Alright, Lil Haran is going to... Oh, I'm sorry. So Aristo's new to this group, so let me explain to you real quick all of the people you have with you. So standing in this hallway, like as Netra goes to leave though, there are two members of a holy order named Geisen and Lydia. They are people sent... hold on. Here we go, the Sunya. They are people sent by the Supreme Light, which was like the governor of a different foreign province. They were sent here to negotiate a ceasefire. They are members of a holy religion called the Given Wills. That's Lydia and Geisen both there for you. And then, also with you is a person named Lil Haran of Elegance. She is a member of the Risen. She's like a scribe. She's like a government clerk. She works for the government as like a diplomat and emissary. She's not a member of the religious order that Lydia and Geisen are, but she's a member of the government of Alonagai, of the religious nation. She also elected to come on this journey to help them. Additionally, standing in this hallway with you is a paladin by the name of Fravia. That is
Cleric.
Oh, I'm sorry, cleric. By the name of Fravia. That is Ramon's character. And then there is a fire spawn named Lumigrax Soulheart. There's no picture there. He is a big, bulky man with scales on his face and skin. And he is in plate armor. He is a mercenary accompanying all of them. Alright, so Fravia is going to step up and talk to Lil Haran. Lil Haran is going to scratch her chin and say, I guess we didn't beat any of the ravens coming to this town. I didn't know any would be sent to these outlying districts of our arrival. But I am curious how she knew that we were diplomats.
Yes, that is concerning.
She's
It's not as if this was a secret mission, but if she specifically came here and found us.
She's Aloharn's gonna shake her head and say she knows too much about us. It wouldn't make any sense for us to try and hide our intentions or motives. You should come, but as you are.
Okay. Just wanted to be sure if we weren't trying to pose certain things. I basically am a guard meant to help Roman, who's helping you. I just wanted to make sure we were trying to explain things to her a certain way.
She
asked.
She's going to nod and say, so Roman, what's the deal with him? Where's he come from?
Everything I know about him, I know from Councilman Phylane, who spoke about Roman and a few others he traveled with for quite a while. Much as I don't know much about him, according to Councilman Phylane, he fought a Shatterer.
A little hard nod since the sand killed a Supreme Light.
That was outside of my knowledge.
Oh, she's going to place her hand over her mouth and say, "Oh, you didn't know." Lydia, who is paying loose attention to this conversation, is going to wave her hand and say, No, it's fine. Geisen and I were going to go and investigate some concerns we had with dairy. So we'll be off. We'll be off on that task until the dinner. Lilharn's going to nod. Lydia and Geisen walk by. Lilharn turns to Fravia and says, "Yeah, he killed Lydia's father. The motivations of which I'm still uncertain, but we were investigating, or my guild back in Dockensdale was investigating him for corruption."
Oh, I wonder what could have led to that. I'm going to give him the benefit of the doubt and just hope it was for a good reason, or in the end he had no way around it.
She's going to nod and say, "Besides, we keep Altus around."
I've noticed that, yes.
I feel like, let's see, Aloharan. I'm gonna roll her a percentage die. She's going to say, "Well, I'm going to study what I can on the politics of this region. Perhaps read some of the travel journals from the bookshelves below. What will you do until the time for the feast?"
Not much I can do at this point. I feel like I didn't do that much during that fight that happened recently, but nothing we can do about that, and I wouldn't be enough time to recover fully from that. It's not like we're gonna get into a fight anytime soon, right? I think I'll join you.
Alright. Yeah, she is going to welcome you as she begins walking downstairs. Alright. Taylor, Lumbergratz is the only person left standing upstairs. What's he doing?
Oh boy. I was looking at my broken sword before.
Mm-hmm.
Did anything happen? How complete is it?
The sword?
Yeah, the pieces that I've got
you,
together.
as far as like what you can tell, you've got about a third of a sword as far as like a usable fragment. The rest are still shattered. They are leaking mist and pale light, but it doesn't seem like it's going to put itself back together without any conscious effort from an outside force.
Oh boy.
It's trying to.
So there's no like gorilla glue in this land.
There's no gorilla glue for ancient magical artifacts.
Just need some flex tape.
Grax is gonna leave the sword in his room where it is and follow Ilderon and Netra.
All right. As you step into the room, by the way, that terrifying shriek happens once or twice more of the tree branch scraping against your window. It caught you off guard the first time, but the second, third, fourth, fifth, sixth, it's just like, God, they need to trim that. Alright, so, following Ilderon and Fravia, Netra was the first one to walk downstairs. You're going to see Roman and Altus. They talk with the tavern keep for a few seconds before she leans over and whispers something in their ear. They have a conversation, and then, or rather, they say something back, and then eventually they both, or rather, all four of them step out. Roman, Altus, Lethe, and Gelsina. They head out of the tavern. What?
Before they leave, could I insight their conversation?
Insight would kind of give you, their feelings about the conversation. Perception would be, trying to make out what exactly was said. But yes, you could insight it if you want to.
I've never used...
Alright. So, if you have your sheet open, I'm going to open it too. If you scroll down to where you see the skills on your sheet in that big long box.
I got that, it's just I need the roll.
Yeah, click Insight, if you hover over the red text, click it, and then it will roll it automatically for you. Alright. You rolled a 15. Okay, so this innkeeper is very, very happy. She seemed very uncharacteristically unhappy through the brief back and forth with Altus and Roman before they kind of look at each other and seem to take this poorly and then head south. You can gather from that conversation that they probably didn't receive news they wanted to hear. Or news that made them feel comfortable whatsoever.
I am just gonna stare at them.
Okay, yeah. They head out. Behind you, eventually, your party comes walking up. Ilderon and Fravia head over to the worship area and start reading the journals. And Lumagrax joins them. Alright, we are going to fast forward through some stuff. Buying a dress for Lethe and Gelsina. Who wants to roll me a investigation check out of Roman and Altus? And I will just let you guys buy one super quick.
I'll roll it. Can I roll it with advantage? Can Altus help me because we're best friends and he doesn't think I'm a traitor?
I will let you roll it with advantage if Altus describes how he's helping. You are... Well, if Tracy's saying stuff, I can't hear him.
Tracy, baby. Come on.
Baby.
I will say, no, don't roll it with advantage.
I rolled 7.
Baby.
Alright. Let us, see. You are going to, for Gelsina, you are going to get her, you're not going to be able to find her, a nice, noble's outfit, for this, dinner, but you are going to get her very, very nice, Ardorian winter traveling clothing, even as, it's, the start of spring, and it's still pretty cold, but, these clothes aren't needed, but you are able to dress her in very expensive, or not very expensive, but very elegant, furs, and fur cloaks, stacked upon, one another. She looks like a gaudy noble. All in all, the outfit is going to cost you 4 gold.
Okay.
Alright. Let's see. Who went... Or, I guess, you can roll the second one for Lathy. Tracy, are you still there?
Yeah.
Okay, I would have had you roll that second one if I had known. Alright. For Lathy, you're going to be able to get her a be able to get her a set of high elven clothes that match her new demeanor. They are common clothes that fit her and have like Alien and Rion like markings and colors and embroidery on them.
Yeah.
They're not like super fancy. Again, not the super fancy like noble grab that somebody would be wearing in Arter Sarai. But their trousers, they're a tunic, a vest, and a belt to go along with it. They're not rags. That outfit is going to cost you 3 gold.
Cool.
Well, that's not bad at all.
7 gold total for the both.
Hmm.
Do we want to get anything?
Am I still wearing Carter's clothes, basically?
Yes, you are.
Yeah, I would like to buy. Am I able to get like a little ringmaster carnival little
Can I get
tuxedo
like
jacket?
a sweet jacket that like says I'm here to party, but I will kick your ass?
Trading here inside of the city, you are unable to find that. But if you go scrounging out in the camps, you actually found a few merchants out in the camps outside the city, willing to trade with you. They would each have clothes that are a little bit like looser fitting, and more of that Ardorian style of dapper but ready for combat. And these clothes are going to have buttons on them. Because Arter...
buttons, because... like...
Well, you don't have to button it up, but Arter has skilled smiths that can craft buttons and the such.
Well, you don't need buttons in a Lil Nagai. Why the hell would you wear anything that fits to your body that tightly and it isn't breathable?
To show off their muscles.
Well, yeah, I mean, that's how I usually roll, but...
They're Chads, don't question them.
Alright. So yes, you'll each be able to gear up. Let's see. We'll see if these people are willing to trade. They'll trade these outfits for a week's worth of food, 10 gold, or 20 ruby pieces.
Boom, 20 ruby pieces.
We have a half man who does backflips.
You would trade Dusty for a set of clothes?
No. You get to watch him do backflips.
Oh, okay. That's worth the sleeve.
He's the hottest commodity in the one tavern in town. Well, he's got other taverns, but he's a hot commodity.
Not that I don't appreciate your attempt to sell Dusty's skills.
Just bring him down to the clothes shop. Now do your flips.
All right.
Oh,
Where do you guys head from outside the city gates?
Well, Altus and NPCs, where do we head from here?
Well, we should probably try and get some INFO on KER. I can't read, so this is not gonna work.
Okay.
Like, I'm pretty sure it's like KR or something. Just whatever.
KROUSES.
I'm not gonna pretend that like Roman's smart enough to know what Lady Croesus's name would be spelled like off the top of its head. Like,
that's fair. Alright. So, as you're saying this, by the way, you are about 30 to 40 feet outside of the camp you just traded with.
I thought you were gonna be away from Lady Croesus.
she's just there.
Yeah. You talking shit?
heard you were talking shit. You know what happens
Sorry.
when you talk shit?
We don't even get to make it to the dinner.
Gelsina is going to chip in and say, "Ooh, we should talk to the mages. The mages always knew stuff."
Well, not that I disagree with this assertion, but one, we're in order.
And
Two,
two,
Lady Croesus is the mage.
also, those mages didn't really know things. They just kind of enslaved you.
Actually, speaking of mages, that innkeeper said that Lady Croesus was a mage, and she was really into your book.
Yeah. Yeah. That's mildly terrifying.
And Dusty was saying that she was reminding him of... She reminded him of something he saw in that book? What is that stuff even connected to?
I got an idea. I could show Roman the book.
Look, I'm not reading that stupid book. I heard what happened
Look.
between you and Dusty.
My donkey can't read, and I need to see if the same thing will happen again. If anything, for like
I like to
science.
stick to I like to keep my heresy narrow and focused.
Lathy is going to hold up her hand and say, I don't know about mages, but I heard like our Dorian towns, didn't the Lil Harn say every one of them was supposed to have like a sage or historian or someone who knew stuff? Could we ask them?
I'm gonna do well, I guess I wouldn't need to do a history check, so I probably wouldn't know. Yeah, we should probably find some off-brand guy that's just like, hey, you want to know secrets about Lady Croesus? She shops at with Dixie.
Alright.
Yeah, we could do that. We could talk. So we could go find the sage. Or I guess we could maybe go talk to Derry. I don't know how long they've been here, but...
Can I roll for the quality of sage we get with investigation?
You can walking through town, like you can ask people of just like, what's the sage like? Or if you want to roll up the sage at random, I'll allow you to roll a D100, and I'll just re-roll the sage.
All right, out of character, Roman. Do you wanna go around the streets, probably making it worse for us when we go to dinner, or do we just want to roll up a sage?
You could make it better. I had the sage rolled up as a background character. I don't mind re-rolling them.
So I would like to state that I feel like the ability to make this worse, you know, like the ability to make this worse is independent of if we re-roll them or not, because the sheer act of digging around is probably what's gonna get us fucked up.
I mean, we're already probably gonna die, so I'm just... We investigate.
Okay, well, the decision was an investigation check. If you want to know about the sage I rolled up, or if you wanted me to re-roll them, I was going to let you roll a D100.
We're gonna go with the one you rolled up.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Okay, so...
Because Tracy's already made the roll, so it's a 17. I don't want to wait.
Yeah, asking about the sage. He's a pretty new... People are going to give you information on him. He's a pretty new fellow also. New to this town. He came in from Artersarai after the Ghost Storm. A lot of people aren't really sure what chantry he belongs to. That said, he kind of keeps to himself in his Sage's Tower. He hasn't taken on any Sagites to train. It's kind of hard to get any more of a read on this guy. He pretty much keeps to himself.
Do we get information of where that tower is from that conversation?
Yeah, let's see. The Sage's Tower. I can't believe I didn't place this in this town. We are going to put it up in the District 4. What was that in my notes? It's going to be on the northeast side of town. And I'm going to add that to my Darandar notes real quick. Oh my gosh. So also on my Darndar notes in this district, I have a scribble layout of a dungeon. No name, no anything, just floor plans.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay, Sage's Tower. And I will make sure I add this on the new map. Is going to be in on the northwest side of town, and it is going to be a smaller tower, just barely overlooking the walls and the outer towns and farms beyond. Do you head to the Sage's Tower? Or are you just asking where it was?
Well, now that we know that he seems to be a loner that doesn't take any Sagites, do we want to risk the fact that he might just be a vampire?
I mean, we fought a vampire already, so, you know, what's the worst that can happen?
We lose our souls and become thralls.
Yeah, what's the worst that can happen? We're already dead.
Yeah, but see, dying to a vampire strips me of my afterlife. Dying to Croesus probably doesn't.
Yeah, what, you just gonna go to the bridge and experience eternal damnation, so I mean...
Look. Sure.
I feel like this is kind of, you don't really lose in either of these or you don't really win in either of these situations, it's kind of both like kind of an equal lose. Except for one, you get a slight win
Girls,
if
do
you
you want
don't
to
exist
go
anymore.
talk to the stage? You know, if any danger pops up, I'm responsible for what happens to you, so buy in.
They are going to look at each other, then nod. Gil or Lathy is going to be the first one to speak up and say, "Oh, Gilcina, you haven't had a chance to learn about the wills since you've been back in Ilderon." Gilcina is going to shrug and say, "Only what you and only what Lilharan and Lydia have taught me." She's going to look to Roman and say, "Well, if we're going to the north side of town, we could stop by the healing hut and talk to Derry."
Yeah, I mean, that sounds like a...
Sounds like a solid plan of
Sounds
at
good.
least putting off our murder dinner.
Alright.
We head there first or head to the tower first?
Well, going to the tower, you pass by there.
Okay, well then, geographically, it makes our decision for us.
Alright.
Hey,
As you are walking up the road, the usual crowd is around the healing house. It is closed. There is a person in the doorway, one of the Sunyat healers, trying to calm the I guess I wouldn't say rambunctious, but definitely displeased crowd. Like, people are going, come on, let us in. You can't set up and offer services and then just resend them. Come on. Damn, a little Najin.
Hashtag capitalism.
Yeah. The
hashtag not my problem.
The healing hut itself, the window is broken on the second floor that you can see. And just from what you can see in the window, well, they probably would have covered it up. Let me roll a percentage die. Yeah, from what you can see in the window, there's something leaning against it, covering up most of everything. There's about 15 people in front of this house as this one Sunyeth official is speaking, and he's going to say, and we will sort everything out tomorrow. As soon as we understand what's happening, we will let you know. Please just go back to your homes. People are going to start, boo! Get out of our damn town if you're not going to help!
I mean, what do you guys want for help?
Wait, do you say that to the townspeople?
Yeah. I'd be like, what's so wrong? What would they do to you?
Damn it, I'm in Sun Youth. I have like Sun Youth emblems. You're gonna get them mad at me.
Hey, I'm the hero of the Sun Youth. That one time.
They're gonna, the townspeople are going to, one person's gonna, like, turn to, Altus and say, damn Sun Youth stormed in there and, kicked everybody out. They come and they do what they want, and, I mean, while they were healing people, that was good, but now they just shut their doors on us after they've rounded up the rest of our sick and dragged off the rest of the people. If we want to seek services here, we should be allowed to. Otherwise, if they're just going to be damn Justicars and paladins, then they can take their twisted sense of righteousness and go someplace else. And another guy's gonna look and say, "Yeah, you," and he sees Roman, and he's just like, "So what? They're instigating with us too." People look at Roman, who is wearing a Sun Yat symbol, and they're gonna go, "Boo!"
Oh, shove off it.
The man at the man standing in front of the doorway is going to recognize Roman and Lethe and say, "Oh, you're the ones who were here with Miss Solemn earlier, as she has no official title now." He gestures for you to come forward through the crowd.
I do so.
Move forward through the crowd.
Yeah.
Fancy.
They shove you, like, as you start moving forward, like one person's
I conjure fire in both hands and start just kind of like, step back! Get away from me, don't touch!
Oh, okay, part of the crowd is going to part around Altus as he leads the way. Just like, it's definitely shovey at Roman and Lethe and Gelsina, but then like once Altus does that, they give you like a wide berth. And when you get to the front, he's going to... Well, let's see. Let's roll him a history check. He's going to say, Master, Geisen doesn't have a title anymore. Former Captain, there you go. Former Captain Windspear and Miss Solemn are investigating the scene now. Should you come to aid them?
Better way to talk to the sage. We thought Miss Defu? Is it Defu? Dairy might be
Dairy
available
carton.
to discuss the wills with young Gelsina here.
He's going to look a little surprised and say, "Oh, Derry's not preaching, or is not teaching this evening. She's been dragged off by the order captain."
Order captain, you say?
Why?
He's gonna shake his head and says, "Surprised everybody else too, just as much."
So, you're telling me
She stepped-
nobody
Answer the
knows
question,
what's going on?
Express your shock and dismay.
Yeah, you just avoided our question. I'm gonna, like, kind of shake my fire hands around and be like, I don't like it when people avoid our questions.
The other people are gonna say, "Yeah, you need to answer some questions about what's going on."
I'm gonna turn around instantly and just be like, "This isn't about you!"
Let's roll me an intimidation check.
Okay. I got a good intimidation, so...
If I try to give the crowd side eye, does he get advantage? It doesn't matter.
Too late.
Alright, this one guy is gonna be, like, really intimidated. And he's gonna, like, take a step back of just, like, oof. And I just rolled a percentage die. If anybody's feeling antsy, the crowd is going to quiet down. They all begin staring intensely at you. The Sunyeth cleric is going to open the door and say, "Perhaps it's better we talk inside."
I guess we got some time before we
Roman.
get to the wizard.
Yeah.
The door is cracked open. It does not... Dragged off does not seem to... Does not seem to accurately portray what happened in here. Everything you can see from the slight crack of the door open... frames of walls, support frames holding up the second floor, windows of rooms, door frames, vials of potions, tables, is either scorched and radiant damage or broken. If they dragged her off, she probably took down quite a few people before she was pulled out of here. Presumably, her being the only person who was fighting, it had to be quite a display. Anyways, he opens the door, and you're going to see the whole effects of this open area of the healing house. All of the beds are broken. All of the frames holding up the second floor are barely even intact. Different doorways and things have been blasted open in here. You see a circular spot on the ground of singed flames. At the circular spot, Lydia is kneeling, and she has her hand against the stone as Geisen is looking at a support beam. Lydia is going to look up at you as you step in. She bites her bottom lip and then looks back down. Geisen looks over at you, paying you half attention. The man is going to speak up and say, I wasn't a part of the order that came with us to help secure the town. But when the captain came in and demanded to speak with Derry, was only a few moments before spells started flying and the commotion consumed her office. We evacuated the healing house. We tried to help her as much as we could, but she killed one of our clerics, and we got everybody else out to safety.
You need to be way more specific there, buddy. You're using a lot of pronouns.
He's going to shrug and say, it was confusing. She was so fast. The order captain, she came in like lightning after Derry. I honestly couldn't track them. I didn't even know Derry had that level of combat skills.
You stay in this stuff long enough, you get really good at a lot of things. Last time I was in order, I could barely set my feet straight. Now I can swing with the best of them.
Lydia is going to call over to Altus and say, Altus, I can't quite identify this spell. Can you come give me a hand with it?
Yeah, Lydia, of course. I go with her and...
If only I was good at Arcana stuff.
Mm.
I'm not, but don't tell anybody!
I mean, look, I don't want to identify anything that happened in this room because my frame of reference is almost exclusively going to be like, oh yeah, I got hit by a holy aura once. Your dad did it before I killed him.
Lydia, is going to roll a max on this die. Rolling a 22 on a stealth check. Oh, it's so funny because it doesn't even matter. Alright. So she's going to roll the 22 on the stealth check as she whispers over to Altus and say, Altus, I need you to stay calm, okay?
Yeah.
She provides you the help action if you want to take a stealth check as she's, pointing at different things on the floor and talking about them. Occasionally she'll speak up and say, yeah, and I think the incantation used was... And just, kind of misdirecting the conversation ever so often. And she goes back into a low whisper and says, that lady who pursued us out of the tower...
Yeah.
In Isildred, we think it was her. The cleric that was killed.
Oh.
He said a single kick broke her neck.
Oh God! Wait, that means no.
Stay calm, please. Stay calm.
Well, I'm not. I have the help action, right? So that should
Yeah.
be
She's
multiplied by.
Gonna say, we think Derry might be the one who knew how to get back to Isildred. Maybe that's why they came and grabbed her. We're still not sure, but she definitely wasn't a part of the Sun Yeth. It's probably why nobody here recognized her.
Do we have any ideas of where she could have been taken?
Well, they've been dragging people off to the guardhouse to the on the eastern side of town, but that order captain's worked with Derry before, so I doubt it's there.
Well, we were going to check up the road. There's a sage that we were going to try and see. Hopefully might have some information. Or vampire, but taking the gamble.
She's gonna say, well, if she was after Derry, do you think she'd even come after us? Should we bother telling the others?
There's a good chance, because if they remember any of us being in Isildred, especially Gelsina, they might come for us to try and stop us before we tried to stop them there. They're gonna remember some of us.
Lydia's going to nod and then stand up and say, thank you, Altus. Without your help, I never would have been able to identify this was a flame strike. You're so wise.
It's magic.
She's going to walk over to Geisen and tug on his arm. She whispered, golly gee willikers! Lydia has rolled 3 stealth checks in a row, rolling 3 natural 20s.
Jesus.
And Roman has a 24 in perception, so she still can't hide from him. But anyways, she's going to whisper to Geisen and say, we should tell the party to beware of Feicho, but we should try not to tie Derry to my father. If he does know. Lydia makes a ominous gesture with her finger over her neck. Geisen nods. He walks over to Roman, Lethe, Altus, and Gelsina, and says, we should go back to the inn. Let the others know that Derry might not be able to help us inside this town. Might be a little bit more dangerous than we thought.
Well, it looks like we've got investigating to do and hero work to do. Why can't anything ever just be the simple diplomacy mission that pays us?
Geisen's going to put his hand on the cleric's shoulder as he's walking out and say, I'll talk to the order captain, see if we can get to the bottom of who this new order captain was, and find Derry. He is going to nod and say, if she doesn't return in the morning, just through myself, I won't have the magic to keep helping all of these people that have been coming through. He's going to look towards Lydia. Lydia's going to say, well, if we have time before we leave town, I can come and lend aid. He bows and says, thank you. Alright, Geisen and Lydia walk out.
Is there anything of value here? I just want to do like a quick little,
Is there anything of value here? Oof, that wasn't broken. Perhaps you see some spell components like scattered in the back area. Some spell components can be extremely valuable. But otherwise, you don't notice anything like innately like, ooh, an amulet or this, or like an item or a dagger.
Okay. Roman. Rob.
Oh, Rob, are you still there? Rob, if you've been talking, we haven't been able to hear you.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
Did you say
No, I
anything
wasn't
during that time? Okay, cool. All right, so as you're stepping out and walking, I assume, westward, you are going to pass the inn, by the way. So you couldn't stop in and talk to the rest of the party. Gelsina is going to speak up and say, I like this son Yith. When we had to do things back in Isildrad, that's exactly how we did it. If we had to drag somebody out, by no means necessary did we take no as an answer.
Well, I mean, that makes a lot of sense, given who probably did it.
Not to mention, it's not like you had a choice in anything. You were charmed.
Not all of them. Right, Gelsina?
Gelsina's gonna say, ooh, I was charmed a lot. I don't know how many times. Never really felt like I was, though. She shrugs and says, I just did it because they gave me food. Lydia's going to look over to Roman and say, you know who's behind that attack?
I have an idea.
Geisen's gonna exhale and say, let me guess, more associates of yours.
No.
Wow, that's
I've
mildly
never met this
surprising.
person. I've only, been listening to all the stories you guys tell. Florence's daughter.
Yeah, Lydia and Geisen share a look. And Gelsina's gonna raise her hand and say, who's oh wait, he's that really nice old monk that we met? Right inside that fancy town? Lethe, chips in and says, yes, the member of the Cow Kid. At this point, you guys can be in front of the inn. I feel like Lethe would suggest, like, I can go in and retrieve the rest of our party. Bring them up to speed on what's happening.
Lucky nice with both Lydia and Geisen. Yeah, we should probably make sure everybody knows what we're dealing with.
They are going to nod. Stepping into the inn, the party who is near the worship area where all of these books are deposited on the shelves, in this reading area, you are going to see Roman, Altus, Lethe, and Gelsina, Geisen, and Lydia all dressed nice, are rather better than they were, except for Geisen and Lydia. Geisen is going to be the first to speak up and say, "Don't think things are safe here in this town. Somebody posing as a Sunyeth order captain just attacked the healing house." Gilsina is going to say, "Well, I figured out it was probably somebody from Isildred, and Roman backed me up on it."
I'm good with that line of thinking.
So, someone followed all of you from this Isildred?
Well, not exactly.
Yeah, Gilsina, or rather Lydia's going to say, I don't think they were after us. They were after the person in charge of the healing house for unknown reasons. But we'll get to the bottom of it. But we should be on our guard. She wasn't exactly the nicest person when we were in Isildred.
That's strange. You have an idea of who this person is?
Let us see. Calcrest, that's the one I need. Isildred. They are going to describe a person to you. And they describe Fangard Feicho, captain of the Fangard. Ilderon is going to speak up and say, "Wasn't she the one who killed Altus?"
Yeah, let's just remind me that I don't have my original body.
She's Ilderon's going to say, "You were just lucky Icium could reincarnate you."
Yeah, not as lucky as Lathy, but we'll say luck.
This should be a difficult opponent then. If we run into her.
Well, seeing as she can kick you to death in one kick, yes.
Hope we don't run into her then.
Ilderon's going to speak up and say, "I think the better we're in that manner, or the quicker we're in that manner, the better. She'd be a fool to attack a noble's residence, especially without the support of her city here."
Well, that's assuming she'd be attacking a noble and not working with a noble.
Altus, roll me a history check.
Dippity dippity.
You are going to remember, so Altus is working for a Dark Master. You are going to remember very clearly that conversation you had with your master about Isildred. Isildred was a mistake, and they are not, his circle is not in charge of Isildred anymore. They cannot get back to Isildred because nobody can find Isildred.
I were to
If Lady Croesus is working with your master, there's probably an infinitesimally small chance that she's working with Feicho, which means she's probably not, in your mind, like just connecting the dots.
Well, if she was working with my master, why would she want to buy my book? Unless that was just a ruse. But I don't feel like it was a ruse. Because what if they don't have access to these books? Because that's the circle. This is all out of care. I am not talking about my master in front of everybody. Or these are inside thoughts, like thinking. But, yeah, no. What if the books are just something that's within my master's circle and not them? Now it's more suspicious on both fronts. I'm going to, because I highly doubt anyone's going to really care if I just start writing into it. But I'm going to say into the writing into the book hints of Isildred, need revenge on the monk.
Okay. Let's see. I'm gonna roll you a die. Okay, you write that. As always, the text in your book is shifting, and the words slowly fade away. As you're staring at your book, waiting for a response, a little Haran is going to attempt to grab it from you and say, "Put that away!" She makes a contested sleight of hands check. 15. Plus her 2 gives it a total of 17. You can roll an acrobatics to get out of the way, or a sleight of hands to snatch it back.
There you go with a sleight of hand.
17! Re-roll that one more time.
There we go.
Woo! 26! Oh my god, Altus! She rolls a 16. She snatches at your book. You move it out of the way. She gets a hand on it before you just, drop down to your knees, and you're too short for her, and just like, stop! And she's gonna just like raise the drapes of her cloak over you and say, just put that thing away out here.
Why can't give me something to like cover the book up with? It'll just look like I'm writing in a journal. No one, only the occult people around here will know. Well, everyone here is probably occult people.
Oh, to Netra, by the way, Aristo, since this is your first time seeing this book, the book that you are seeing is a completely black tome. It's got a leather-bound cover, but the cover of it almost looks like the ink is a C, and it like shifts like a, or rather the blackness looks like it's composed of a black puddle of ink. However, the book doesn't look to be like transparent or anything. It's like where to inject liquid inside of this book. It's a very, very strange. Like touching the cover, it's solid leather, but a ripple goes through the cover of the blackness, and it's solid blackness, like as you touch it. Or rather, as Altus and Lethe are fighting, or not Lethe, Aloharan are fighting over this thing. Oh, did you want to say anything?
Is there a way I could make a religion check on it to figure out like the origins of its religion, or if it's actually a cult?
Go for it. All right. So you rolled that directly to me, and that is fine. I see the results of that check. There are some things that Netra is acutely aware of, and this is going to kind of be like a lot, so I'll try and keep it like as relevant to the situation as possible. The city that you were trapped in, that everybody's talking about, Isildred, was ruled by a dark overlord. The overlord that ruled the city is not the same person who destroyed it. He came in afterwards, after the city was destroyed, and kind of like ruled over the crumbling remains of it. That person, Netra's aware that person does not have a, is not in well standing with whoever this person is that Altus is, that gave him this book. Looking at the origins of the book, it is not going to be anything of like Darenthel that you've that has ever came to your mind. If it is, it probably is a cult, like some strange secretive circular worship that is trying its best to probably remain hidden with the amount of wards and things that are on this book.
Can I do an Arcana check to check about its magic? If it's dark magic or just regular magic?
Yeah, go for it.
Dark magic.
Okay. Well,
Yeah, on a 12, you're just going to pick up like, yeah, it probably is dark magic. The origin of which it's still uncertain. The book seems to be this book seems to be producing a magical aura though of its own.
I will just kind of stare at it very awkwardly and question why my party has something of black magic.
Are you not listening to what this party is? Dusty,
Maybe-
all this,
maybe-
I killed
maybe-
Lydia's dad in cold blood.
Yeah. Maybe we keep our good little holy minds to ourselves, and maybe we don't wake up out in the middle of the ocean.
All right. Aloharan is going to speak up as she's like still trying to cover Altus and say, "Well, it's almost sundown. We should head to the Croesus Manor then."
Oh, this is gonna be fun.
Nope. Keep your eyes peeled. Stay safe. Don't wander off.
Can I get a glass of water from the barkeep?
Yeah, she'll pour you one.
I have a decanter of endless water.
Oh, you have a decanter of endless water, you say? Looks like we have a makeshift jetpack.
I am going to pray to this water. I am startled.
Okay, make me a religion check. Praying to the water. Netra seeks. Netra seeks.
Wow.
Nectra seeks calmness from the waves. You are going to feel calmed. Like this calmness is just going to wash over you as you just feel assurance and the warmth of like your the river that Netra used to love floating in back in Morzia. And you're just reminded of your homeland. So yeah. Anyways, that'll be relevant later. So the party. What do you want?
Yeah, is confused.
Yeah. What do you want to do?
I guess we go to the Croesus Manor.
All right. Everybody is agreeing to go together.
That would be ideal, but I mean, I assume a little Haran needs 2 more hours to get ready.
Rude. A little Haran is already prepared for this.
Okay then.
I rolled her a performance check of how well she was actually prepared.
How prepared is she?
An
Is she
18.
elegant?
Yes, she does. She's a little Haran of elegance. She's got it.
Well, I want to see how hard she stuck that name. Brax can vocalize that though. That's his job.
All right.
There you go, buddy.
All right, so everybody heads to the Croesus Manor. If you look at that first picture, I have on the map, or not the map, on the left. That was kind of like my inspiration for what this central manor in the middle of town looks like. As you are walking up the concourse leading to the manor. On the grounds, you're going to notice this tree that looks incredibly ancient in the front of this manor. It's just like the one nearest the inn that looks like a pine tree, except it's got upwards facing branches where different pieces of this tree almost grow into smaller versions of this tree growing upwards and upwards. Looking at the ground of it, the dirt and soil nearest it are almost all upturned around the trunk of this massive tree. It curves and stretches, almost taking up half of the concourse leading up to the house. Stepping. Yes. Go ahead, Taylor. Say that again.
I said that's pretty phallic of it.
Yeah. Walking up to the manor of this house, knocking on the door, nobody comes to open it.
What, bro?
Yeah, after a few moments, Gelsina is going to step forward and rap against it several times harder. Still, as nothing, as the door doesn't open, she's going to place her hand on the handle and move the massive latch down. She heaves up the door and pushes it open. Everybody is looking at her, but nobody's really going to stop her. Gelsina's going to just look back at the party and like, oh, I've broken into plenty of places back in Isildrad.
We aren't breaking in, we're visiting.
We're invited guests, I think.
As you
We have guests open their own doors, also oddly quiet. Does it look like there are any, I guess I should have asked this, does it look like there's any lights on from outside? Like, candles that show
there are
illuminated?
there are different rooms with torchlight in, and definitely as you open this doorway, the hallway is lit with torch sconces along the walls every couple feet. The inside of the manor is incredibly warm and cozy. Gelsina is going to step inside and yell, "Hello? Anybody home?" She starts walking in further. Lethe is going to go in after her. And I believe you guys equipped Lethe with a rapier, correct?
Yes.
Yeah, she's going to draw it. Geisen is going to look back over the grounds and say, help cover the rear. Eloharan is going to grab Limigrax's arm. Does anybody else go in?
I'll follow.
Dusty's gonna grab your arm. Dusty grabs Altus's arm.
Dusty couldn't.
Rex, I'm scared, hold me.
Going?
Oh, Rex, Altus. Damn, I got him confused.
Okay, Netra heads in.
Where's Lydia? What is she doing?
Lydia, I guess Lydia will walk in behind Netra.
I will walk in behind Lydia.
Alright, Geisen walks in behind you, looking out over the courtyard before closing the door. Gelsina leads the party through the hallway, calling ever so often, saying, "Hello? Anyone?" Roman is going to hear footsteps, lots of footsteps, coming from a corridor that you just passed behind you. Before finally a man steps out from the darkness and says, you've all surprised me." Fravia recognizes it as the steward that announced Croesus's visit earlier. He's going to say, "I was just I was just in the servants' quarters in the kitchens helping prepare the meal for this evening. Welcome to the Ethenar Manor. He bows graciously.
It sure took you a long time to get here. We were knocking on the door.
He is going to again bow and say, "Yes, it is most unkind of me. I'm still getting used to these. I'm still getting used to the rituals of our Dorian nobility. Why, you see, our house has risen quickly, and the promotion." He's going to walk past the party and say, "Come, let me lead you to the dining chambers."
Follow.
I made a BRB just real quick.
Okay, Lethe puts away her rapier. He leads you through several passageways eastward in the manor until finally you are in a large open room. There is a bunch of artwork in here of a woman with actually, Roman.
Yeah.
Roll me a history check. Everybody is entitled to a free history or religion check.
I don't know shit.
I'm back.
Okay.
I got a 7.
Okay, that was Lethe. Well, actually, I'm gonna roll this like this. Roll. We gotta do a little Haran. Lethe, Gilcina, Geisen, and that is it, because I rolled these others, so that's 4. Okay, that's all the NPCs right there. Okay, so, they are not going to recognize any of these, but Fravia definitely is. She's read a book before and looked at portraits. As you walk into this chamber, there are portraits everywhere of this blonde-haired woman and this red and white. I'm sorry, gold and blue is the Sunyeth's colors. And this gold and blue regalia. It is decorating every inch of the walls. And they are portraits, some as tall as like 10 feet, some as small as, just small, like 1 foot by 1 foot paintings. And they're all of a similar person. And you think you recognize High Prophet Philezra of Light from the leader of the Given Will, the leader of the Sunyeth, the leader of that church. And it looks like, it looks like Lydia's recognized this too. Like as you both are like looking at these portraits, like you share eyes of like, oh, you know who this person is. As stepping through this chamber, there is a massive long wooden dining table with different chairs seated around it. The chairs are made not of the same wood of the dining table. Some of the chairs are even benches of stone that have been placed here. It seems like a hodgepodge of finery makes up this room. The candelabra above the table also seems to imply that this was not originally a dining room, as it would have some type of like nice chandelier. There are seats enough for everybody here, and in addition to the seats of your party, there are seats for 4 more guests. Lady Croesus is not seated at the table. The steward walks your party to the table, and he begins pulling out seats for each of the ladies and men of the party.
Thank you.
Is it alright to sit even though the host isn't here yet?
He's gonna say, that is tradition, isn't it? I suppose it should be fine. Lady Croesus herself has never been very fond of tradition.
Maybe able to take a seat. I guess the more important delegates would sit closer to the head, and I'll sit farther away.
There's a stairwell in the back of this room, by the way, that leads down into it. And underneath the stairwell, there's another doorway. The steward is going to say, well, now, if you don't mind, I will go and help continue preparing your meal for the evening. He bows and goes out the doorway underneath the stairwell.
It's certainly something.
Lydia is going to say, I don't know if she's a fan of the Given Wills or the High Prophet that leads it. As she grimaces over at all of the portraits in the room.
Yeah, a lot. Portrait.
At this moment, you guys are going to hear a door open. Coming down from the stairwell at the top, you are going to see Lady Croesus.
Before you be able, I guess, stand up now that the host is here.
As you stand up, Lethe stands up also. Ilderon does, Lydia does, Geisen does also. Gelsina is busy knocking on the wood with her ear against it. She's got her head pressed flat to the table. All right.
I refuse to stand.
That's fine. Let's go with this. I like this. Alright, let's go with this. I like this. Alright, as Lady Croesus steps into the dining room below, she is going to say, my other guests this evening didn't show. Their loss. She looks at the rest of you, her hand on the railing as she's walking down, and says, it's your company for this evening. It will be marvelous. Thank you. She comes to the table and sits down. She raises her hand, motioning for everyone to sit. She's going to speak up and say, do tell me of your travels. Well, I know the road from Dockensdale myself. It's a long one. Ilderon is going to be the first to speak up, looking at the party and say, yes, it is. We were told by the High Counselor, Lady Kylissa Tolls, that we'd be able to act freely in this matter. We were to go straight to Beaka Hold. We didn't know that she would be sending out ravens about us to the local lords and ladies. I'm sure you can understand our surprise when we entered your town and you knew of our presence. We meant it of no slight to you, of course. We were simply passing through as quickly as we could. Lady Croesus is going to raise a hand and say, oh, when I heard, I did not take it as a slight. Worry not about that. Her gaze falls on Altus. Dusty, by the way, who everybody here has seen My Hero Academia, right? Oh, okay. So there's a scene of Deku just like in a chair. He's like leaning backwards and his head leans forward. And he's just like sitting there excited. Dusty is kind of doing that. Like he's leaning back in his chair and his head is swaying forward as has energy that he's having trouble like containing right now. He's biting his lip, clenching his fists, and he's just leaning forward and backwards. She's going to motion towards Dusty and say, "It's your friend Will?"
He's been like this. We come from a really wet place.
She is going to raise an eyebrow and say, "Ooh, do tell of it."
You know, eternal darkness, all that fun stuff. Bunch of crazy people, everyone wants to kill each other. The same old pocket dimension to pocket dimension.
She's gonna nod and say, so there's no reason avoiding around the issue. I myself have always liked to address it directly. You've been to Isildred before. Is that what they're calling it now?
Well, yeah, you've never been there.
I've heard stories on the Wen of the Ilderon diplomats. Have quite a tale to tell, coming and moving between worlds. I'm sure you can understand why I must have you in my establishment, or in my manor this evening, so I can hear of that tale.
I mean, I don't know how a story tells you where to find us. Where it was, but how was it that you managed to track us down? You scratch mine, and maybe we can have a scratch off here.
How was it that I managed to track you down? Perhaps knowledge for knowledge, then. How was it that you managed to find such a rare and dangerous book simply sitting inside of a library?
Well, let's just say the library was a bar, and some things can travel from one strange man to another.
She rolls her eyes, and she's going to say, why many people in this country mistake the magics I command at my disposal. I am trained in an elven art, one that has reached this country, but its craft has been altered. In my land, they... Go ahead.
You use Brendori's shadow magic, don't you?
She's going to smile and say, the Brendori secrets are secrets. But, yes, I'm a druid of sorts. The trees, the animals, the plants, everything in this town I can communicate through it.
Is this something sorcerers could learn?
She's going to say, already have one master and looking for another.
Can never have your hand in too many pots. That's what Dusty always tells me.
Pots?
So, how is Jim these days, anyways? Do you have a close connection with him?
Let's just say... Sorry, out of character, I'm trying to think of what to say here.
Well, whatever you say, you can roll me a deception check.
Why does it have to be a deception check? What if I guess to everybody else?
It's cool, I'm bad at insight.
No. I'm gonna say, names and semantics, not a thing for dinner in front of a family. And
She's
I kind of like.
she's going to say, well, let's see. Does she pick up on that? What is Lumbergrass rolling that insight check for?
Oh, that was for the front door guy that didn't get us at the front door.
Oh, okay. I'm sorry. I didn't see that until now. Let me know when you roll stuff, okay? Sorry about missing that.
It was an 11, so I didn't think I'd get anything out of it.
Okay. Somebody posted the Deku gift. That's great. Anyways, she's when you say it's not to be discussed in front of guests, she's going to say, "Oh, fine, cling to your secrets."
Oh, that's not where I was meaning to go with that. Damn it.
Okay, then keep your secrets.
No, I'll give you my secrets.
And she is going to say, the rest of you, do you have any ties with this city or that man? Gelsina raises her hand and says, "Oh yeah, I used to work for that man, Overlord Neltig. He was a good enough boss. He made us go out and scavenge for food. Made us kill usurpers, put down rebellions. It was..." She shrugs. Work. Croesus is going to tilt her head and say, "Neltig, is that who you serve? He gave you that book?"
Honestly, I'm not sure. Names aren't things given.
Lady Croesus is going to look very confused and say, and look at Gelsina and say, "I think we're talking about two different people." She's gonna say, "Oh yeah, I'm talking about the person in charge of Isildred." And she's going to point to, and Lady Croesus is going to point to Altus and say, "I was talking about how that book found its way into his hands." And she's going to say, "Oh, yeah, he had that when he came to Isildred." And she's...
No, I did not have that in Isildred, actually, because I burned it on the bridge.
Oh, yeah, you did burn it on the... No, you woke up with it in Isildred, though.
No, I didn't have it in Isildred, because I couldn't do anything with it. Or no, I might have had it, but it didn't have any connection. I can't remember correctly, actually.
Yeah, so what happened was, you burned it on the bridge, and you were just like... Because I remember you telling me this. You were super angry that you had, destroyed your personal story. And then when you woke up in Isildred, you had it on... It was on your chest.
Well, let me correct that.
Okay.
Just for viewers. The goddess of death is an asshole.
Hey, fuck you.
Fuck you and your god, traitor.
Oh my god, there's so many people worshipping so many different things inside this one room. There's so many people
one god already.
worshipping so many different things. Alright, so Gelsina is going to speak up and... she's going to turn to Gelsina and say, "So, let me get this straight. You lived in Isildred?" She nods and says, "And who's in charge of it now?" "Well, when we left, there was this really powerful vampire wizard, Overlord Cadrus Nelta. He lived in the Tower of Happiness. He was my boss." She nods and says, "And you were there in the Sundering?" She's going to shrug and say, I don't know what that is. When the city was destroyed and sunk out of Ilderon." She's gonna shrug and say, "Oh, I was just a baby then. But yeah, I've lived in Isildred my whole life. The woman tilts her head and says, "Fascinating. Truly."
Maybe you could enlighten me about this book, because there's a lot of things I don't know about it, and all it's caused is a lot of hurt. Well, some fun. I got a donkey out of it. Well, spirit donkey. His existence is pain, and he will be kept that way.
Lady Croesus is going to gesture for the book from the head of the table. Just says, "Bring it here."
I'm not going to hand it, but I'm going to go over with the book.
Okay. She is going to begin flipping through it as you place it on the table. She turns to a page and traces her finger along the page. The ink seems to follow her finger before she finally says, "Reveal your connection." You see the ink form a monochrome image. There is a person in a room. He has his hood up, and he is looking towards a mirror on a table next to him. He's wrapping bandages around his arm, and he's got a cloak draped over his knee with a needle and thread through it. Next to the mirror on the table stand, there's a illustrated picture with lightning bolts and fire around it, with an A over it. She's going to bring her eyebrows together and say, "Oh, and this man's wrapping bandages around his arm, by the way." She's going to say, "Who is that?" Altus very clearly recognizes that as Nefano.
Future zombie boyfriend.
The other evil apprentice of his evil master.
I'm going to bring that up, Nefano. We're currently in an assassin contest.
She is going to roll her eyes again and say, "Jim never did, or never could last without a apprentice. Nonetheless, he's taken two now." She closes the book and says, "Well, the thing won't work right until there's only one of you. Nevertheless, I'd be happy to get this off of your hands and get you out of this mess."
I'm going to let's see. All right, you know what? I'm gonna take the gambling gimbals here. And my life just crumbled. I was going to whisper to her.
Okay.
I was going to say, I'm not sure if I want to be taken away from the book. I'm not sure if maybe the future that this book brings isn't the future that I want a part of. So like kind of a maybe 50-50, you know, like this guy promised a lot of stuff, and I've gotten some good power out of it. It's saved us a few times, so I go forth with that. I'm just gonna say that. But I want to learn more. I want to be able to defeat Nefano.
She's going to exhale, hand you back the book, and say, "We call him Jim. but among our circle, we refer to him as the gem-eyed snake.
Are you two a part of the same circle, or?
She is going to connect gazes with Altus and say he's probably the second worst of us. Isildred was his idea. We were united in one goal, and that was to defeat death. She laughs and says, I don't think we ever got much closer to it.
I mean, from the way Isildred looked, it seemed for those in charge, it was very, very far from death.
She is going to nod and say, he and the wing developed the ideas and the concepts that we tried to enact. But in the end, they seemed too far for us to even grasp. When my family's health started to fail, I withdrew.
So what is it that you want this book so badly? If you're not a part of the circle anymore, then why do you need it?
She's going to close her eyes and say, I actually need to look at my notes for something. She's going to close her eyes and say, I was actually positioned in West Lineth, or just on the edge of West Lineth, when the ritual in Isildred, or when the ritual in Calcrest began. I did my part. I suppose you could say I want this book because I have regrets.
And
perhaps saving you from a dark fate might help me seek some sort of atonement for it.
At least for the time being, I don't think I can part this with you.
Galsina's going to slam her hand on the table and say, "Wait, Westlineth? You were in that part of Isildred? That's where that elven fortress is."
Hey, we tried to break in there.
Yeah, and they were always killing all of the guards and killing us. It was awful. I hated those people.
Well, Galsina, at least you said people.
Mm-hmm. Croesus is going to wave her hands and say, "I assure you, I haven't had any contact with them for years." She laughs and says, "We kind of got ourselves locked out of Isildred."
What if we could unlock Isildred? Take it back.
She nods and says, "Yes, but you see, the magic itself was quite impressive. Something of that feat hasn't been achieved before in Ilderon. The whole demiplane itself is hidden from all sorts, or any sort of divination magic. Not even the gods themselves can divine on it."
I'm gonna do, with a bit of urgency, can he hear us through the book? Is it only sending, or does he always listen?
You say that to her?
Yeah.
She's going to say, Jim? Jim does what he wants these days. Why, I didn't know he was even still recruiting servants. Or, I didn't even know he was still recruiting apprentices.
I'm going to tell her, when possible, there's something I'd like to show her. But not here, not in front of the others. Gelsina can come.
Ilderon... Oh, go ahead.
You said you're locked out. But, like, I don't know, I'm pretty sure Tengu can get to Isildrad, and you guys use the same magic.
She is going to nod and say, I had that idea for a fleeting minute. I came to this city initially and established a home here to hunt him. He is more elusive than you think. I drove him out of Isildrad, but he's found another hole to burrow in. I do say, why we elves are ageless, I just don't have the energy to chase him much anymore. Ilderon's going to speak up and say, why are you consorting and dealing with such dark magics if you have such a fanatical worship of the given wills? The Sun Yith is wholly against this. She raises an eyebrow and says, the Sun Yith, I allowed them in the city on my wife's dying wish. I know not what you speak of me worshipping them. Ilderon gestures to the portraits and says, that's the High Prophet, Felezra. Looking up at them, she says, no, that's a portrait of my wife. She died last month. Ilderon places a hand over her mouth and says, oh, I'm sorry for your loss. Lady Croesus raises her hand, brushes it off and says, no, death claims us all. I used to think it was something that could be conquered, but in the end it's inevitable.
Pravia looks sad.
It's just something you gotta embrace.
She is going to look over at Roman and say, that's not something you hear spoken by by a member of the Sun Yith often. Doesn't your order worship life and creation? At this point, the doors open. The steward starts bringing in food, aided by the other servant. I forgot her name. That was with Lady Croesus. They start bringing in large plates of roasted animals and bowls of stew.
My order captain has an interesting outlook on life.
She is going to rub her chin and say, well, why don't you share that outlook with us? This is a place where curiosity can be explored.
I feel free to share it with you. However, eyeing, let's see, I'll just eye Netra, because too holy. Some here might see the things that I share not as gifts, but a taint on this world.
Alright.
Bravia
eye him
sees
back.
him. Bravia sees him eyeing him and wonder why she is not being eyed. Like, hold on, what? Oh no.
I'm just gonna say this is a mark back to Ultimate trip.
Anyways, where were we?
She asked if you could share your order captain's perspective on life.
I mean, death happens. It's unavoidable. We talk about securing life, protecting life, but fires go out. You live on if that life had meaning. You don't get the Providence sitting on your ass.
She is going to chuckle at that and says, if the gatekeeper decides, doesn't feel like doing her job, sometimes you never get to Providence at all.
Well, sometimes you don't want to make it there, do you?
Sometimes the gatekeeper's just an asshole.
She is going to hold up a cup of wine and say, here, I'll drink to that.
Bravia steps her.
Roman refuses to drink.
Grax grunts and drinks.
I'll pray to the wine.
Religion check.
Alright.
It's not real water.
Dusty is going to be the first
water.
to speak up and say, so if you're the crow, and she's going to say, what makes you think I'm the crow, before he speaks up and says, I saw symbols in the book, there was a crow, and it was flying around a wing, and I didn't see a gem-eyed snake. And she's going to look at Dusty and say, oh, so you've bonded to this book also. Perhaps...
I'm just gonna look at her and say, in a way.
She's going to look at Altus and say, perhaps your quest just got a little bit more difficult. It might not end when you end Nefano's life. Or the Nefano's life.
God, I gotta kill Dusty now.
She looks and says, the wing that you saw in there, we call him Wing. Others of the world, though, would call him Yissel. And you are correct. I was the crow.
Oh.
Where is Yissel?
She shrugs and says, if he hasn't destroyed another city in the past 16 years, I think Ilderon's doing well to leave him to his own devices.
Yeah, but I ask, because somebody isn't leaving him to his own devices.
She is going to say, remember when I said the gem-eyed snake was the second worst of our bunch?
Yeah.
He had the ideas. Yissel came up with the methods. We fulfilled the magical rituals and components necessary. Yissel was the worst of us.
So you
Well,
don't know where he is.
She is going to nod and say, well, I might feel bad for my actions. I feel he thinks we didn't go far enough. However, those are days long behind us. You try and you fail and you lose the ones you love. You destroy a city accidentally and your plan gets pulled away from your grasp. Move on. I think we were lucky enough to walk away with our lives from that one. Lydia is going to speak up and say, "You killed nearly 90,000 people. You can't just move on from that." Lady Croesus is going to say, "Well, I've invited you here for dinner. I think that starts to make up for it."
I mean, it is a pretty good dinner.
Yeah, Gelsina, who has been eating and already was like angry at Croesus, has seemed to have forgotten this. Aloharan is going to speak up and say, "And so, if we leave in the morning, you're not going to do anything to stop us?" She is going to shake her head and say, "Oh, of course not. My grudges in life are at things far bigger than each of you. It's not like you're champions of the gatekeeper or anything. I have no reason to fight you."
Keep it calm.
Yeah, keep it calm. Just grunt. No more words, just grunts. Just take us to love a Grax.
That's right. You're talking about Grax.
She's going to she's going to speak up and say, "Why, I didn't want to impede you in the first place. My servants in town, my ears, arms, and eyes were shrilling at your presence. That's the only reason I bothered to even divine in on you."
What does that mean? Like, they not like us?
She is going to think about it and say, "Well, actually, to be quite certain, I've never heard them evoke such a visceral reaction before. It was almost like my dearest Wampert. My dearest Wampert was shrieking at you entering the inn. He's the tree I planted just east of it."
Now it makes sense.
The goddamn tree! I knew I'd feel dumb when Brandon revealed it.
I knew fire would be the answer to all of our problems.
No.
Does Alt just say that?
Words, kids. Murder solves all your problems.
No. I'm not gonna say that. I'm trying to work some magic here. Maybe spend a lovely night learning some stuff from Lady Croesus.
Huh. Interesting. I've never been disliked by a tree before.
I mean, you're disliked by everything else. Why would it surprise you?
I'm just disliked by you.
And Dusty.
Well, by you I meant all of you.
True.
She's going to speak up and say, "Oh, it's actually quite something. My personal ones that I awaken become quite powerful."
Powerful trees?
Or powerful people.
She waves her hand and says, "It's magic I can demonstrate another time. Perhaps when you come back through Darndar." Lydia, whose mouth is still like dropped open, is like still flabbergasted that this woman can brush off murdering 90,000 people.
After the first couple hundred, it all gets numb.
Geisen is going to speak up and say, "We talked to the Order Cleric that was working the healing house. She said you were appointed recently by Lord Rinnelpaw. He doesn't look too favorably upon those who aren't a part of the Given Wills. How do you know him?" She shakes her head and says, "My wife was good friends with him. I was not appointed as the lady of this town. It was she. He nods. He says, well, come now. I brought you here to celebrate and indulge. I've been talking this whole time. Tell me of the travels. Tell me of what you've seen on the road. Tell me of Iseldred. How is it now? Dreadfully gloom, I assume.
Powerful trees?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Ravy is just gonna eat since he only recently joined this team.
I wasn't in Iseldred. And I don't want to have to rehash the whole killing Lydia's dad thing.
Like, do you say that?
No. I'm just gonna silently eat my food.
But you have a lot to say, don't you, about getting captured and fighting your godfather or something?
Yeah, right. I got a whole story, baby.
Killing Grax's
It's gonna be in
brother.
print. Well, he was already dead.
I know,
And we
but killing him
Oh, I'm
again.
sorry. I thought you knew our cover story. That was the hard M.
All right, no, you have to say that. I know your cover story.
She is going to speak up and say, now, see, I tried for 8 years. We all tried for 8 years after Iseldred slipped away from us to get back into it. How did you find your way into Iseldred?
Wow.
Oh, us?
Curious.
Yes.
No.
Well, we found a magical drug den, and we murdered a lot of people. Saved a lot of people there.
Murdered! Murdered! I'm
I'm
gonna look at him intimidatingly. Mad.
look back at her, still, just same eyes. Fine. Fucking, saved, liberated from the mortal coil, whatever you want to call it. And, the goddess of death said, we were pretty much useless to her and threw us into the bridge, but then she was like, just kidding, need you to do something for me. And did it? We did not. We completely botched it.
Okay, lots of things are happening right now. So, give me 1 second to handle all of this.
Suddenly trees start attacking
Yeah.
Altus.
There we go.
All of us are dead.
Everybody is dead.
Willow?
Okay.
Rocks fall, everyone.
No, everyone's dead except for Netra. She's like, you know what, you don't seem like you did anything wrong.
Okay. So,
Prayed to some wine, prayed to some water. Yeah, that's all I got.
Roman.
Oh no.
As Altus is talking, after he finishes, you feel compelled to share your story of how you got here with everyone.
Why do I feel like I can't keep myself from doing this? Compelled?
Yes.
Oh, why do I feel like Renalta's being a bitch right now? So wait, I mean I can tell the story, but where exactly do I start?
You want to just share more. You want to share more about yourself with the group. Wherever you start is wherever you choose.
So, like, I was just a sailor. You know, that's all I did. We ran little merchant routes. It was just me and my dad. It was fine until he died. And then I was drunk for like 4 years. And I finally was getting my shit back together. And this merchant, chronatic one, has this really sweet job. But then I find out that he's like, it's like slaves, really dark trinkets. Anyways, I get kidnapped by this dude because I know too damn much. and then a bunch of guys. High Councilman Phileath was one of them. Russell Runnelpaul was one of the other ones. Your sister, Jessica. Yeah, it was a really ragtag bunch of people. Saved me. Cool guys. They were on a hunt for the Sage of Ardor, who was Alshindoris. Not that one lady, Anna. Anyways, so we did a lot of stuff. That's where I kind of half met Kevin, because Krun was a piece of shit, and then we fought Krun, and he had your brother with him as a death knight, I think, because Jessica said that he had died, and we burned his house down. But he turned into like a ghost. It is weird, and he turned into a ghost, and he escaped, and then he possessed his brother, who's the Ocular of the Chantry of Concordance, and then we trapped him in a piece of iron that's currently in the university, and then we went to the castle when Respis Bertolf died. Couldn't save him. We saved Marcus Bertolf, his son, who is also now dead. And then we went to Alona Guy. With Effie, Freedom Fall. You guys know Effie. Where we met this woman, Valerie, dynamite lady, fucking dark skin, eyes you lose yourself in, sees the future. So we find ourselves, because we were going to return that piece of iron and then the Earthfire weapon. But then we were on a hunt for Dila Winrona, because she's been missing for like 2 months. And that leads us into all kinds of shenanigans. Jim Prius Mari is evil?
Ilderon is going to interrupt you and say, wait. You've been traveling with us for 3 days? And it's been hard to get you to say more than 2 sentences about yourself, and now you're just sharing all of this? What is going on?
Am I able to respond, or do I just keep talking?
You feel like yourself. Gelsina's going to speak up and say he's probably been charmed, acting against his nature. She keeps eating.
I feel insulted if it was a charmed effect, because I can negate those. I have no idea where that came from.
Well, at least we know your tragic story now.
I mean, that wasn't all of it.
Yeah, Loharn's gonna say, please don't let me interrupt you. I'm just surprised.
So, we went looking for Dila, and that's how I met Lyra. Because Lyra and Effie are a thing? Oh. It's weird. It's not probably that healthy. But they don't fight it, so I don't care anymore. Anyways, Valerie was able to see, like, we pieced together where to find Dila. It was in North Shore, this rundown barn. But that's not entirely accurate, because when we went in there, we got teleported to this dank-ass cave. It was in Galkin. Anyways, Olivia, the Shatterer, the Lost, that lady, she was there. We knew that going in. And it all got crazy. Jessica had this frost phoenix come out of her chest and was holding back Olivia after we fought a bunch of undead. And it was just me, my good pal Urkus, and Hapelry. We managed to find Dila, who's in this stupid magic bubble.
At this point, like, as you're talking, the servants who have been, like, bringing in food and, like, refilling people's drinks, the 2 of them, have, like, stepped in with a pitcher, and they're just, like, standing, listening.
We couldn't get through the bubble, but Hapelry could get through the bubble, because I guess she could see the future, because she had made a deal with the Forest Witch. But, so she could get through the bubble. But so could Urkus, because his dad's a spirit wolf. And like, tears are coming. And to get Dila out, Urkus had to kill the both of them at the same time. So Dila's soul could get out, because Dila always comes back. And I just had to sit there and watch. I couldn't do anything.
Croesus is going to get up from her seat and come and place a hand on Urkus, or on Roman's back and say, there. It's horrifically tragic, isn't it? Or almost beautifully tragic in a sense. That only she gets to maintain that luxury of always coming back.
Yeah. But Olivia got Jessica. So I had to watch Valerie die, and then I had to watch his Jessica stolen. And then we went to Heimsdale. And because we saw that Jessica was being forced to kill citizens. She's a Terrai. Now, the Phoenix was keeping her normal.
Kind of eye.
And that was the whole thing. Draelos got beat up by a Deathan. I had to drag Dila through a portal. We left Jessica there. She's in the Darkened Vale now. I think she's doing good. And then we ended up back in Sky's Reach. That's when Tristan left us. I don't think he took losing Jessica too well. While we were in Galkin, Olivia offered to raise Valerie as a Terrai, but I couldn't have done that. It's not what she would have wanted. And then I found out that isn't what she wanted. She left a note for us in North Shore because she see the goddamn future and she knew she was gonna die. Anyways, we convinced Dila because Dila only wants us to go feed chickens and cure diseases and do paperwork because God forbid anybody does anything dangerous when you're one of Dila's stupid little kids. Elves normally keep circles of like spouses. She has kids.
Circles of children?
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, we went after Daxtran Flemist. He's the general of the Archblade. He has a stupid magic axe that lets him see in the future. And that's how I met up with Order 42. They helped us charge the Archblade camp. That's why I have this stupid medallion. Because half of them died. This belonged to one of the ones that died. Forget his name. I want to say Lawrence. Lawrence might have been the one that had to kill him so he didn't lose his soul.
At this point, Lydia has her hands over her mouth.
So, like, the weird thing, is that we kind of talked him down, right? I don't know how kosher it is to make deals with axe-wielding half-orcs that lead bands of the undead. But he didn't like Jimprius. Jimprius betrayed him. Jimprius is evil. He's working with Olivia, with that Elena lady, with Tengu. They're doing things, and it's awful. So, we managed to make it back to Dawkinsdale after the whole initial attack on the camp. And he, corners me in an alley, Daxter. And then, as we're talking, and he's trying to, show me, like, the evidence that Jimprius sucks. Swirling darkness surrounds us. And from, presumably, the heavens, distance didn't make any... Proximity and stuff didn't make a lot of sense in the dark bubble, was Iman. He didn't want us talking to Daxter. So he sends us to this... It's like a shadow plane. It's like a destructed Dawkinsdale. Conjured your worst nightmares. I saw Olivia twice. Reese saw my dad. But we managed to get through all that. Get to the dilapidated version of the... Could it be called Iman Watch? I don't know why it doesn't have a name that doesn't relate to the Supreme Light. It's obnoxious. And... You know, we confront him. And he kind of makes it seem like it's an ideological thing. We walk in, he walks in, only one of us walks out. I walked out. But before he died, he asked me to keep Lydia safe.
Lydia starts crying.
That's why I'm here. Because I don't know anymore if I did the right thing.
Croesus, who's patting your back, is and Lydia crying across the table, is gonna say, "Oh, isn't this just a delightful dinner? Who wants to share next?"
I'm not a member of the Sun Yith. I just have the medallion as a memento. Kinyara offered me a position, but I haven't accepted it. I don't believe in the given wills.
She is going to pat your back and say, "Oh, that's okay. We all find our faith elsewhere. I myself am a believer in the spoken." She moves back to sit down.
Roman doesn't actually leave eye contact with her. I worship the forgotten song.
And she stops. Her back turn to the party and the forgotten what? She turns looking at you.
The forgotten song.
Just as arrogant.
She's going to... She doesn't cast anything, but she grabs the table, hand biting into the wood, and says, "You worship that soul-slaving bitch?"
Gladly.
Bravia is confused and unsure of what to do with this information.
You are going to see spores and fungus start growing out of the table. The fire in the of each of the candles lit over the candelabra start growing. The food begins rotting on the table. Swarm starts pouring behind Croesus. Get out!
This is how.
What does Roman do? Lady Croesus's skin starts paling before it starts blackening.
I'm gonna stand up. I'm gonna straighten myself out. I'm gonna bow. And then it'll be like, and then I'll say, "Yep, I'll leave."
Now, was that directed at all of us or just him?
I don't worship that soul-stealing bitch.
Does Lumberjack...
Get out. Yes, Lumberjack says that.
I feel if, Okay, hold on. More stuff is happening. Tracy.
Don't say my name. I didn't do anything.
Not that you did
Can't
anything.
say his name.
Okay, give me 1 second to think for a moment.
I'll continue to eat my food as I awkwardly just watch.
No, it's Molly. Don't touch it. I slap her hands away from the plate. I also I pull Gelsina's plate away because she's not smart enough to stop eating it.
Yeah, she's she's stopped eating the food, but you pull the plate, she is going to tug against the plate and say, and she's going to say, well, I've had moldy food before. Come on, stop!
It's not healthy. Slap her hand and just...
Okay. So, Roman.
Yeah.
Feels the overwhelming urge to stop and be incredibly arrogant.
If this is a charm effect, I'm ending it.
It is not a charm effect.
Fravia would like to get up, and if it looks like Roman's about to talk, like cover his mouth.
What is affecting me that affects my behavior, but isn't a charmed effect?
Would it be like an athletics check to grapple and like pull him away?
Yeah, I mean, Roman feels the need to feels the need to oh, you know what? Actually, I'm gonna rule this is a charm effect.
I'm gonna take a deep
It's
breath.
not explicitly, it doesn't explicitly say it's a charm effect, but creatures that can't be charmed are immune to it. So,
I mean, like, I can be charmed, I can just end the charm.
alright, yeah, you feel the need to be arrogant. Fravia gets up to cover your mouth, you calm your mind, you regain control of it, and you walk out. Or rather, you start walking out. Okay, so the other things that are happening...
Oh, well, I'll let you finish that, because I just left one thing
go ahead.
to say on my way out. I'm sorry about your wife. Nobody asks for it. And if she's as dynamite as you think she is, then she's probably exactly where she needs to be. Sadly, that isn't with you. Where you want her to be.
Roll me a persuasion check. I'll give you advantage on it too. Oof. Okay.
No, better. So.
She is going to break off a piece of this table, and eventually it is going to mildew and turn to just slime and sludge in her hand as it falls out of her grip. And she is going to say, I am extending you a kindness. I am not the person I used to be, but that does not mean that I welcome her followers into my home.
Love left.
Mm-hmm. Alright. When Lumbergrax asked, did you mean all of us? She is going to say, yes! By the bloody bridge, I meant every single one of you that associate with him.
I literally just got into this party. I don't know what's going on.
Bravia will stand up, bow, and say thank you for the lovely dinner. Walk out.
I don't know him.
Bravia's face is tense.
Alright. The rest of the party is going to shuffle out, and Gelsina's going to raise her hand and say, I've been trapped in Isseldred. I don't I didn't know who Renalta is or was until I got here. Can I stay too? The flames inside of all of the candles are going to go black as the flames extinguish themselves.
Drag this kid away.
The party hears footsteps as Croesus starts walking up the stairs. After a minute, a woman is going to light a...
Can I beckon to say, like, does this mean what we had talked about is off?
You call up to her?
Yes.
You hear a very harsh voice say, "Come!" After a minute, the woman who was standing there with the pitcher lights a candle. She steps forward to the remaining party members and says, "I can lead you out of the manor."
I want to. I'm going to bring Dusty with me, and I also whispered to Gelstina that I'll try and bring her more quickly.
Alright.
He's a part of this as well, so I feel like he's fine. He doesn't worship that soul-stealing bitch.
Mm-hmm. Stepping, the party, who's leaving and who's staying? I'm assuming Netra, Lumagrax, Frevia, Roman, Alohar, Lydia, and Geisen all left.
I really do feel bad for Netra, because it's just like, I've had a glass of water.
Hey, what's up, Jackal? We can hear you.
I drank some wine. And then all of a sudden, everybody wants to kill each other. Hey, you're here! I made you do backflips earlier.
Okay, so, as the group of the party that's stepping out, Netra, Roman, Lumagrax, Fravia, Eloharin, Lydia, and Geisen, and Lethe. You are going to notice all of the flora and plants of the manor have changed. Bushes have wilted, trees have dilapidated, and that one huge tree that was like a pine tree that its branches bent over and kept growing upwards. Now instead of a pine tree, you see it looking like mushroom caps. Each one extending off of another one. As you walk out of the manor, though, however, none of them try to stop you. Or rather, none of the plants try to stop you.
They all just stink eye Roman.
Why am I leaving? I don't want to leave.
I have so many questions.
New factory with the fucking mushroom princess?
What happened? What did
Hey, there's nothing wrong with the mushroom princess. She chose the right side of not worshiping the soul-stealing bitch.
I'll hurt you.
Hey, it wasn't soul...
I'll do to you what the Given Wills did to my ancestors.
It wasn't soul-stealing, bitch. It was soul-slaving, bitch.
Oh, there we go. Soul-slaving bitch. Because
Yes.
it's almost like she did it to me, too. And Istil Dread.
It's almost like she forced Lumagrax to work for her, also.
Of course.
I like how
Air quotes.
Oh, go ahead, Taylor.
It's a good thing I didn't bring that sword. And
Oh, that would have been so much better.
Well, the sword, or at least the shards of it, are probably what tipped them off to us.
Alright.
Anyways, I'm strutting out of here, baby.
We probably have time for one more scene tonight. Do you guys want to handle Altus and Dusty, or do you want to handle the rest of the party?
I'm down with doing the rest of the party and doing like Altus and Dusty next time to really dig more in.
Okay.
That's my vote.
Okay. We can do that. The rest of the party, where do you go?
Back to the inn, I guess? I don't know. I feel like a lot of people have a lot of words for me.
Following Roman. I have no words.
Just go skip rocks, Roman. Just go.
Yeah. Aloharin would probably be the first one to say, like, as soon as you get off the premises, she's gonna look over at Roman and say, You worship Renalta, the gatekeeper?
Haldora.
This went so much better than planned.
I mean, like, a lot of our characters worship Renalta. Also, testing, is this working?
Yes, we can hear you, Jackal.
Okay. Like, not getting any response on that.
Yeah.
So.
Well, also, Dusty is not with the party. He's with Altus right now inside of the manor still.
Are we having sex right now?
No. The party got kicked out.
On top of the
Yeah.
What did you do without me? I feel like I missed so much.
Yeah.
If you just go to the live session and rewind like 7-10-ish minutes, you'll find out.
Aloharin's going to say, you worship of Renalta across the world. It's looked down upon. Look.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't know that. I'm sorry. That's right. I grew up in the Tide Gate. You don't think I know that? And you're surprised I didn't say anything until now.
And she's gonna say, well, maybe inside of a noble's manor isn't the best place to bring it up, especially one that's feuding with the god of death. Look, Lumagrax is bound in service to her, but you ever see him open his mouth about it?
He doesn't open his mouth about a lot of things.
You seemed oddly talkative in there.
I don't know, something came over me. I just had to, get it out. I guess.
Lathy
Roman finally admitted he was a traitor?
Lathy,
is there a roll to figure out if he had been charmed?
Yeah, you can roll an Arcana check.
Alright, let's see what I get.
Lathy pointed it out, though, that he was probably charmed, so I'll let you roll it with advantage. Or not Lathy, Gelsina.
She gets less food for that.
Yeah.
I'll go with the 12.
I mean, magical charms can definitely do that. To somebody, how it happened, I mean, you're not sure. You're not too familiar with druidic magic, so it's probably not within Crossus's arsenal.
So I think you might have been charmed to speak about things I'm assuming you were keeping secret for obvious reasons.
Yeah, because I really wanted you guys to know my life story.
Yes, you've been pretty secretive. I knew a few of what you said.
I would just like to state that I don't really think I was being that secretive. All of you had just decided that I was actually here to murder Lydia in her sleep. So you decided not to talk to me like I was a...
I was actually sent here to make sure you didn't do anything stupid. I pretty much failed.
Group C, doing something stupid.
What's this? Our norm?
Lydia is going to hug you, hug Roman, and say, I'm so sorry you had to go through all of that. And I'm sorry my dad trapped you in a demi-plane. He kidnapped me too.
Did you mention the part where he killed your father?
No, we already knew that, but I mentioned why it happened. I'm gonna, hug her back. I'm sorry, that it happened, because my dad died a while ago, so what's that one tenant or whatever, but what's that verse, I mean, I know what that feels like, and then I did it to you, and it's not right.
I know which given will you're talking about.
It's the main one. It's the one they used to justify all the genocide.
I committed... Here it is. In your form, Life's Respect Passage. In your form, I was enlightened upon my first passing to an experience that I wish to never inflict on another again. And Lydia will say that, and just like through her tears and stuff, she'll say, in your form, I was enlightened upon my first passing to an experience that I wish to never inflict on another again. We're gonna negotiate the ceasefire, then we'll come back and we'll find Dari. Or we'll find Dari, and then she looks back to the manor and says, "We'll get the army from Supreme Light Pramada, and we'll free Isildred, and then we'll just sort out our own messes after that." It's not that hard, right?
We all need one big therapy session.
I think this actually was it.
This was therapy. Welcome to our fucked up family.
Well, maybe now there will be less tension. And you'll feel more trusted around them, Roman.
As you guys get back to the inn, walking towards the inn, you can see several more offshoots of that strange tree have grown closer and around the inn, almost encompassing the whole corner of it. Walking upstairs, Lumagrax, as you step into your room, ever so often the branches of that strange spore-like tree, or mushroom-like tree, scrape against the window, shrieking. Just looking out into it now, there are about 24 crows just sitting inside of it. They're not cawing or doing anything but looking inside of the window.
Well, since Ravy is also in this room, would she have followed in behind him?
Yeah, I mean, it's everybody. Everybody has to pass Lumagrax's room as they're going into their individual rooms. Like his is the first in the hallway. So
I look out the window and I tell the tree and the crows that I was having a really good dinner back there.
All right.
Lumagrax, should we move to another room? I think Roman's is mostly empty. We could probably bunk with him.
I mean, we could swap. She already don't like me, so.
No, I said I can't let you die. I can't let you do something stupid. That includes dying. On purpose.
Is there another room that the tree isn't scraping against?
So it's consumed the corner. So these 3 rooms on the corner, definitely. Lydia's room on the far end is pretty far away from the tree.
Okay, so it doesn't matter which room. Roman's is also in the corner, I think. So.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because mine's next to Lydia's.
Oh.
To maintain that protective distance, because I was respecting her emotional needs.
Wait, if yours is next to Lydia's, Roman's room would actually not be touched by this tree. Because remember, your stuff was in L shape, so it was like...
Yeah, so I mean, you can bunk in mine.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll bunk in your room away from the death tree.
God, no, I don't know about this anymore, because Grand Sword and what might come next.
Mm-hmm. Do you leave Grax's sword in that room?
No, I take it.
Okay.
And the tree's right here?
Yeah, the tree is outside of your room. It's grown limbs that have been scraping against your window, but it has also grown to encompass around the outside of this building. So it covers now like all 3 of those rooms. So just looking out the window, it's like you see through all of its branches. All right. How about we stop there for the night?
Yeah, that sounds fine.
That's fine.
All right. Yeah, Lady Croesus is former evil, which is probably why it was so hard to tell. Is she evil or is she not evil? She was she used to play on that team. Well, maybe she is still pretty evil. Who knows? Yeah.
That's a very great line.
Angry,
Let's see.
evil.
Let's see. Her wife died a month ago. I did it. Father, I did it. Not
Bad
right.
guy, but she's that bad guy.
All right. So
Did maybe his girlfriend died probably around that same time?
I feel like Fravia could have like been like, you worship that soul slaving bitch. You get out of here, Roman. Just joining Lady Croesus.
She has a job to do.
Everything was so much better than
Opens up my
expected.
in room, does the same speech, and kicks me out of it.
Shun the believer. Shun the believer.
She just keeps tapping his window all night so he can't sleep. The tree.
You know what? We could actually retroactively ask Grax if he wants to go to Roman's room. If he feels uncomfortable.
I
Be
just have to
uncomfortable
say,
together.
Stay away from him.
I'm sorry, Rob, but everything was so much better than expected.
Oh,
Sorry.
Jackal, what you missed is Fecho is the person who killed Altus and almost killed you. She is in town. She kidnapped the Order Cleric that was healing everyone.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Definitely leave.
Yeah, exactly.
We're
So
gonna die again. I'm gonna die again.
Don't
Fecho
worry, you have your own super monk to help.
Fecho is in town. She killed a cleric and kidnapped Derry. Derry possibly is the person with information on how to get back into Isildred. Lady Croesus was a member of the Circle of Mages that destroyed Calcrest. Altus, personal story development. Your master, you still do not know his name. His moniker amongst the circle is the Gem-eyed Snake. You guys also found out that evil mage named Yissel is the wing among the circle. So you know 3 of the 5 members: the crow, the Gem-eyed Snake, and the wing. Did anything else happen? Well, I'll give you guys minor experience for Roman's backstory being revealed in full-fledged. Anything
You're
else
welcome.
happen tonight? You're welcome.
I really.
I don't think you want to say
I feel
that,
like I could have
Tracy.
added to this by causing more mayhem.
I don't know. My backstory getting revealed led to Lydia and I hugging it out.
Yeah, I'm
ho-
still putting that in Roman backstory. What's up,
I was
Tracy?
really hoping Fravia wouldn't intervene. Like, I was hoping she's gonna turn around and be like, you know what? Fuck you and your beliefs!
Look, he's been stupid enough. I have to stop him from being stupid and dying.
All right.
Mine's what I want. Did you not hear about the whole belief system?
I'm going to
My
say
job says otherwise.
6,750 experience for tonight. And I am going to give inspiration to Roman and Altus.
Yay!
Yeet.
I earned this.
I helped you earn this.
Okay, cool. For
Did
once,
you
I'm
cast
not
the
getting it.
Yes, I did!
I was watching the stream